Thank you for checking out this special presentation of Lone Star Internet Radio's podcast. Lone Star Internet Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station. This podcast is a recording of the 2016 Montgomery County Primary Candidate Forum, broadcasted live from the Crichton Theater in downtown Conroe. The following podcasts are the candidates for the 435th District Court. Before we get to the candidate presentation, please take a moment and hear a word from a title sponsor of Lone Star Internet Radio, the Spirit of Texas Bank.
Spirit of Texas Bank. More than a name, it's a way of doing business rooted in all that makes Texas great. Take lending. At most banks, you feel processed, shuffled around, and asked to jump through ever higher hoops. It's not fun. We understand. That's why Spirit of Texas Bank is different. We start by listening to what you need, then finding the best and fastest way to get you help, person to person. Helps, too, that decisions are made locally. Loans tailored to your needs and your finances. You'll quickly realize your opinion counts. Your word matters, and the bank is here to serve you, not the other way around. We've been told over and over again how great the Spirit of Texas banking experience is. We trust you'll feel the same way. Spirit of Texas Bank, all across Texas and now in Conroe, Magnolia, the Woodlands, and Tomball. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Okay, each candidate will get a 1-minute intro, and then we will start with the questions. Ms. Maginnis, you go first.
Thank you. Hi, I know many of you. For those that don't know me, my name is Patty Maginnis, and I'm running to be your judge of the 435th District Court. I am uniquely qualified for this position, and I truly want to serve you. I have served as an assistant district attorney here in the county. I've also served as a municipal court judge and a lawyer handling both civil and criminal cases. I am the only candidate in this race that has held all 3 positions in a court of law. That's given me an angle or vantage point in the courtroom that no one up here else has. My message is simple: correct, protect, respect, and fix the 435th District Court.
Thank you. Judge Schissler.
Thank you. My name is Mike Schissler, and I'm proud to be your judge of the 435th District Court. I was elected 8 years ago, in no small part because of the efforts of many people in this room, and I want to thank you for that. I am a constitutional conservative. I'm the only candidate up here that's actually interpreted statutes, been appealed, and affirmed on that issue. Since taking the bench in June of 2007, I've tried approximately 300 jury trials. That includes civil, predator, and criminal trials. I have been affirmed by almost 98% of the time by the courts of appeals, the Court of Criminal Appeals, the Texas Supreme Court, and the United States Supreme Court. From day one, I've heard all types of cases. I want to thank you for your support. I think my wife's out there, and somebody told me once when running for office, and your wife shows up at a campaign event, you're supposed to thank her. I should have done that first. I might be the doghouse. So, again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you. I'm Tom Brewer. I'm new to this. Been around Montgomery County about 4.5 years. Probably the newest lawyer that you're going to see here. And I've always wanted to be a lawyer. I believe in taking care of people, taking care of your rights. And that's what this is really all about. You're about to go through the opportunity now to pick a judge who's going to protect you in a courtroom, which is a pretty hazardous environment, if someone's not out there being fair and impartial. And that's what I want to do, is to be fair, impartial, and follow the law. That's the goal. You worry about victims' rights? Let me tell you something. If you don't get it right in court, you'd be amazed at how many victims you can create. That's what I want to do. I'm an ex-sailor. Spent about 10 years in the Navy. Got out, went and worked for Motorola for about 11 years. My son graduated from high school, and I'd always wanted to go to law school. I did. Graduated, magna cum laude. I guess I wasn't as dumb as I thought I was. But that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Been doing this now for a little while, as they say, a hot minute, and I'm done.
Thank you. First question goes to Judge Schissler. The 84th legislature stripped the 435th State District Court of its duties to handle all of the state's civil commitment of sexual predator cases. What types of cases should the court handle moving forward, and how do you best fit that role?
Well, it's a court of general jurisdiction. I can hear all types of cases. I've heard all types of cases. So whatever types of cases they're put in front of me, I can hear. Right now, I'm hearing criminal cases, but I also have heard civil jury trial. Tomorrow, I'm doing a family law docket. I think that when you're electing a judge, you need to be looking for a judge that can interpret statutes, handle witnesses, and make decisions with common sense.
Thank you. Mr. Brewer?
I'm not really a big fan of interpreting statutes. I believe that statute usually says exactly what they want right there inside the four corners of the document. That's what I want to do. And yeah, you do need a judge who's going to be able to handle the courtroom. I think it can handle a courtroom. I've handled a whole lot worse than that in the past, I guarantee you. So if you want to know about what you're looking for, then you have to take your time, sit back, and think about it.
Thank you. Ms. Maginnis?
Yes, sir. When the legislature stripped the court of its duties, that was costly to the taxpayers of Montgomery County. Based on that action and conduct from the court, Montgomery County this past year has had to absorb a loss of $160,000 loss in revenue from the state of Texas. And further, the taxpayers also had to dole out more money or use that money to hire visiting judges, approximately 65 visiting judges, to handle the cases of the failing 435th. It is a court of general jurisdiction, and now we have that court available to work. I suit that role. I've been a judge in the past and exercised judicial temperament that was appropriate for the court to function. And I will do things correctly. I will protect your rights when you're in the court, all that enter the court, and I will respect the rule of law along with all that enter the court. And we'll be up and running week 1.
Thank you. Mr. Brewer, question for you. With no more state funding subsidizing court costs in the 435th, how will you make the court more efficient to reduce costs?
Well, first of all, the court, since it's been changed to a court of general jurisdiction, there won't be a need for as much expenditures as has been in the past. That's just a fact. That court has had jury trial after jury trial after jury trial almost weekly. So that's gonna change a lot. And then what you've really got to take a look at is how you can get things through, how you can be efficient in moving things through. I don't think any of us have really had that kind of experience, and even those who've had experience, there's always room for improvement. I can run anything at an amazingly wonderful pace. I'll get it done.
Thank you. Ms. Maginnis?
Will you repeat the question?
With no more state funding subsidizing court costs in the 435th, how will you make this court more efficient to reduce costs?
First and foremost, to make it more efficient, we have to have dockets weekly. We have to have a docket every day throughout the week and not just one day a week. That will help tremendously moving and disposing of cases. If we look at the history at this point, the court was stagnant for approximately 9 months. And if we compare the numbers during that time of cases that were disposed of, our other criminal courts were disposing I think 1,300 cases during that time period. The 435th was only disposing of 150. And there is a ripple effect there. If we're not moving the cases, they're sitting at the jail. So we have to take that into consideration. I think if we had weekly dockets, Monday through Friday, and still run trial, that would increase the efficiency tremendously. I'd also like to take a little opportunity to look at the indigent appointment list and make some changes there as well.
Thank you. Judge Schissler?
So this court didn't sit stagnant for 9 months. I've tried 300 jury trials since I've been on the bench. It's more than any other court has tried in Montgomery County. 20% of the funding of this court is still paid for by the state because even though they like to use the word stripped, I'm still over the 350 sexually violent predators who were committed in Montgomery County. So it's not like they took it all away from me. I still have to spend about 20% of my time handling those cases. In fact, I think on December 28th, they're filing a motion to release one they'll have to consider. The 435th is the most efficient court in the county already. That won't be a point out by my opponents because I have one coordinator and one court reporter. Every other court has multiple employees. We already have dockets every single day. If anyone wants to plead a case in my court, they can do it anytime they want. They want to have a motions hearing, they can have it anytime they want. And again, a judge's job is to try cases. And for 8 years, I promised to try cases, and that's what I've been doing.
Thank you. Okay, next question. Ms. Maginnis, discuss your view of proper judicial temperament.
Proper judicial temperament is extremely important in a court of law. A proper temperament includes being open-minded, listening to all the litigants when they come in, and actually evaluating their cases. But it must be done respectfully, and you must maintain dignity, while at the same time a firm hand on keeping order in your court. You cannot attack or demean or bully witnesses or other litigants in the room, because if you do that, what you're doing is depriving those people of the opportunity to be heard. And that is the problem that we have had at this point. It costs us money when we don't do it right.
Thank you. Judge Schissler.
So I think what they're referring to is the judicial grievance that was filed against me. That was on two issues, one that took place 6 weeks after I was a judge, and the other in early 2012. Again, I've tried 300 jury trials, and I've been affirmed 98% of the time by the courts of appeal. The judicial temperament is an issue that's appealed on almost every single case, and it's been denied in every single case by the courts of appeal. A judge has to be in control. If the judge is acting loosey-goosey up there, then the courtroom gets a little out of control. I make sure I'm in control, and I make sure that my bailiffs have control of the courtroom, because there are a dangerous situation that can be in. My judicial temperament is solid. It's respected by the lawyers of this county, and of the 20,000 prospective jurors that have come through my court and the 3,000 that have sat in my court, ask any one of them, they'll tell you that Judge Schissler is in charge of his courtroom, and that's what we need, as a judge to be in charge of his courtroom. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brewer.
Judicial temperament is probably exactly why we're here. And it's about being calm, cool, respectful. It's about being fair. It's about being impartial. And it's about giving both sides at the table the opportunity to speak and be heard equally. If you don't do that, then you lose something very precious. You find it in your Bill of Rights. It's called due process of law. It's the most important thing that a judge has to sit over, to make sure that everybody gets a fair shot. You better make darn sure that when it comes down to it, you're going to pick someone who's going to get you a fair shot, because you can wind up in that court. This is your county. It's your court.
Thank you. Judge Schissler, next question for you. This will be the last question before closing statements. Should judicial candidates accept campaign contributions from lawyers who might appear in their court? Why or why not?
Well, I have a lot of lawyers who want to give me money, so maybe I'm doing a good job. I don't really have a problem with it, as long as the judge can stay fair and impartial. If a judge can't stay fair and impartial, then he needs to remove himself for that case. I mean, Texas has a very unique system where judges have to get elected, and that takes money. We have to campaign, and sometimes we have to discuss things that are not properly put out by other candidates, and to refute that, it's going to take some money. So I have no problem with judges getting with money from lawyers that appear in their court, as long as it's properly disclosed to both parties. It's okay.
Thank you. Mr. Brewer?
Well, I'm not going to be taking any money from anybody. I don't have a lot of money. It's going to be a really small campaign. But bottom line is, if people want to, and they've got somebody that they like, they have a good reason for liking them, sure, go ahead, support your candidate. It's the United States. We got freedom of speech. Do it.
Thank you. Ms. Maginnis?
My preference would be that lawyers that campaigns didn't cost money and you didn't need donations or contributions from lawyers, because there is an appearance there that doesn't really make you feel real warm and fuzzy. The job of the judge has to be to overlook the fact that someone has contributed to their campaign and follow the rule of law, and certainly not show bias. So it is my preference that it didn't have to happen, but the reality is campaigns do cost money.
Thank you. Closing statement. We'll start with you, Mr. Brewer.
Well, pretty simply, you got 3 candidates up here. We're all good people. 2 of us are challenging because we think there's a problem. If you don't know what it is, shame on you. You need to find out. It's not a secret. Go find out. Take the time. Learn what you're voting about. This is your county. You're talking about the next 4 years in Montgomery County, in a court of general jurisdiction, a place where you can wind up, your wife, your children, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You need to figure it out now. I'll do a good job for you. I've done a good job everywhere I've gone. There's no reason to stop. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Maginnis.
Judicial temperament is an issue in this race. And if you look at the history right now of the court and the judicial temperament, here's what it has cost us, the fact that judicial temperament has not been in existence in this court. It has cost us that now some of these predator cases are actually being heard by Democrat judges. It has also cost us the fact that I know at least 2 high-risk pedophiles have been released into the community. And that has put our children at risk. And it's all due to judicial temperament. The job comes with a set of rules, conduct rules. Therefore, based on that, I am committed to following those rules. I'm asking for your vote, and I'm asking you to allow me to do this, to be correct, to protect and respect, and to fix the 435th, because it is broken.
Thank you. Judge Schissler.
If there was a problem with the court or my judicial temperament was not up to par, that would have come out in the 98% of the Court of Appeals cases that I've been affirmed on. The 2 pedophiles that have been released, I'm not sure what she's referring to. They weren't released by me. I want to tell you that I'm a serious conservative candidate, that I have been interpreting statutes that have no precedence in front of them. I've done a good job. When I ran for this bench, I promised I would try cases, and that's what I've done. I have an 8-year track record. I'm the only candidate up here that can sit here and say, look at what I've done for the last 8 years. And you can then look and see what I'm going to do for the next 4. Anybody can sit here and tell you and make promises to you and how they're going to act. But I'm the only person up here that's actually been making rulings, protecting Montgomery County, making sure that everybody got a fair treatment in my court. If people weren't getting treated fair in my court, I'm sure we would have heard about it from the Court of Appeals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the special broadcast of the 2016 Montgomery County Primary Candidate Forum. This was an open invitation event to all candidates and was broadcasted live from the Crichton Theater. If you have any questions or comments for Lone Star Internet Radio, or you would like to sponsor Lone Star Internet Radio, please contact the station online at irlonestar.com or our Facebook page, Lone Star Internet Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station, broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas. We would also like to thank the title sponsor of Lone Star Internet Radio, the Spirit of Texas Bank, Lone Star Internet Radio, and the Spirit of Texas Bank, serving the community of Montgomery County.